Welcome to Royal News. The Queen will omit the Braemar gathering in Scotland, the Highland Games match held on the first Saturday in September, that she historically attends all through her summer season smash at Balmoral. But before we get going, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button for updates. She hasn't ignored a Braemar gathering in her 70-year reign and is regularly accompanied by way of Prince Charles and different individuals of her family or whoever is the modern-day top minister. It is understood the last-minute selection was once taken for the remedy of the monarch, 96, who has skilled mobility troubles in view, that closing year. The Prince of Wales, who used to be already due to attend, will be present. It follows the announcement previously this week that the Queen will appoint the subsequent top minister at Balmoral instead than in London. The new chief and Boris Johnson will tour to Scotland in a Destroy from lifestyle on 6 September, a selection made and improved to supply sure bet for the top minister's diary. The Highland Games are typically attended by using the Queen, who is customer and has been a spectator there considering childhood, and are one of the highlights of her calendar. She used to be remaining considered in public on 21 July when she arrived at Aberdeen Airport to start her annual excursion in Scotland. While at Balmoral, she is stated to have obtained household visitors, such as the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and their 3 children, as nicely as the Earl and Countess of Wessex and their children, and the Duke of York. Queen Victoria commenced the royal culture of attending the video games in 1848. The video games commonly coincide with an annual go-to from the top minister, who are frequently invited as guests. It is the first Braemar gathering for 3 years due to the fact of the COVID pandemic. It had been hoped the Queen would fly to London and then journey on to both Windsor Castle or Buckingham Palace to fulfill what is acknowledged as her personal prerogative to invite a new chief to structure a government. But her mobility issues are such it should now not be assured she would be in a position to make that journey. British media suggested Friday that the choice about the video games was once made for the alleviation of the monarch, who has struggled with what the palace has described as mobility issues in view that closing year. Elizabeth has spent plenty of the previous 2 years at Windsor Castle, west of London, the place she took refuge at some stage in the pandemic. She has stored working at some point of this period, even though most of her duties have been carried out virtually, which includes conferences with ambassadors, fitness people and schoolchildren. The Queen, whose mom used to be a Scottish aristocrat, follows a movements for the duration of the year, even throughout the pandemic. Every year she spends about 2 months on vacation at Balmoral in the Scottish Highlands, one of her privately owned residences. One of Scotland's extra colourful traditions, the video games are some 900 years historical, though the cutting-edge structure dates lower back about 200 years. But carrying out her constitutional responsibility as head of state is primary for the Queen, and one of these obligations is presiding over the transition from one High Minister to a new one. It's a ritual Americans may liken to a swearing-in, however is recognized in the United Kingdom as kissing hands, though real kissing was once dropped lengthy ago. It will be the first time the transition to a new premier has taken vicinity away from London throughout the Queen's reign. She has been served by means of 14 high ministers considering the fact that 1952, beginning with Winston.